Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. In this video, I want to share with you a day in the life of me managing EOD Bank. What am I thinking of? What is my thought process as well? And how I hedge my own financial assets in Path of Exile 2. Now this of course is from the perspective of a person who is managing EOD Bank. This is not all my money, a lot of it is mine, but more importantly, we have a crowdsource place where a lot of us pull together funds to join together to invest in a Mirror of Calandra. Of course, one important thing that we need to know is the bank is very liquid. Anytime someone wants to withdraw, I have to have the cash ready to pass them so that they can take it out as and when they want. That is a promise that I make to all the EOD Bank people. So with this problem is every time the Mirror of Calandra prices go up, and if people are withdrawing and depositing as and when they want, how do I actually manage my risk? How do I manage to outpace the profit margin from Mirror of Calandra? Can I actually make more with the funds as well? And that is what I want to share with you in this video to give you a bit of rest at ease if you are invested in the bank, or at least help you see different things from a perspective of a wealth manager. I am of course in real life a finance professional managing wealth. So more importantly than that, let's get in with the first thing. The most important number one rule is if you have an asset that you are crowdsourcing and people pulling funds together, you need to have the underlying assets. This is not like the real world with banks where don't even have money and they lend you the money, so you have this like complex banking system and stuff. For those of you who have no idea what I mean, it's basically the thing that caused like the debt crisis and all that kind of stuff. So most importantly, I need to have at least a Mirror of Calandra so that I can hedge my risk. If not, I will have unlimited exposure. If Mirror prices double, triple, I will immediately be bankrupt because I won't be able to get that much funds in a short amount of time. So this is of course the first key. Then after, everything else after a Mirror of Calandra, especially if the bank has under 100% investors, that means the total number of investors don't reach up to a Mirror of Calandra, then I need to care about the excess liquidity. And this excess liquidity gets eroded very quickly to inflation. For example, these divine ops that you see over here, if I pull up the chart for you to show you the price of Mirror of Calandra, every day is pumping by at least 20%. And from like just a week ago till now, the price has doubled, which means if I don't double the amount of divines that I have on hand, I will actually be losing money out and I'll be having a massive L just by running the bank. So how do I actually overcome this thing? The first thing is buying other assets and hedging my risk among the smaller tier items. So what do I mean by that? You see a Astromantis Stellar Amulet over here. If I see desirable, unique items that I believe hold value quite well, that might also increase with value with time, I buy them, I just put them as a hedge. This is around 90 divines right now, so I just leave it as one of the asset classes so that I don't get fully exposed to the Mirror of Calandra prices. The number one rule in investing is try to hedge your risk, so that's what I try to do. I try to buy different asset classes, get out of the weaker currencies and into a bit more expensive items because those are a little bit more rarer, a bit more desirable than a regular divine orb. So for example, I buy things that are also quite expensive in their relative tier, like Essence of Delirium, which is quite hard to find and it's also very unique. People have not explored this area yet, so I just hold a little bit just to see how it goes. Of course, more importantly than that, I hold a lot of omens because these are very endgame items, and based on the previous league, the trends that we have on our channel, I actually have many charts already whenever we do our economic analysis. And one of the important things that I see right now is Omen of Whittling prices are very low. It has skyrocketed since I bought it when it was like 1.8, 1.9 with hundreds and hundreds of divines. So now the prices of course have recovered. I haven't updated this chart here yet, but I'm monitoring a lot of the financial assets on the channel. So what I do is I basically buy in bulk all of the assets like Omens of Dextro Annulments. I buy in bulk the Omen of Dextro Erasures as well, which is like hundreds and hundreds of divines. And at the same time, I deploy strategies that I share with you guys on the channel that a lot of you use for like exalt trading and stuff. So this is an example of what I'm doing based on just today's trends. Yesterday, the prices, if you've seen the video like just yesterday or the day ago, Omen of Whittling prices was 1.8, 1.9. I bought hundreds of it back then. Today I liquidated almost the entire Whittling stash that I have. I just have a little bit back. So I sold it off at 2.8. I made almost 50% of my money within the span of 2-3 days, and we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of divines over here. So this is helping me in a sense keep up with the inflation of divine ops versus Mirror of Calandra so that I don't get outpaced and get blown away. So I spend a lot of my time just spread trading in divine ops, speculating in certain assets that are undervalued based on my perception. So I'm taking own personal risks. As I talk about a lot about economic indicators on the channel as well, I use those indicators myself to profit. And because very few people have that level of economic insight in a game, not everyone's a finance major like myself, I actually am able to exploit a lot of the high net worth clients, because a lot of them might be just very good gamers, very good at trading stuff, but not all of them see the macroeconomic factors. So for example here, I sold off at 2.75 for Omen of Whittling. This is just a very quick example. I sold off a lot at 2.8 already. For those of you who are in the guild, you will notice the amount of inventory that I'm holding and what I'm actually hoarding as well. And then I bought it back at 2.7. So just an example of a spread trade where I'm trading like 0.05. But if you're trading in very big bulk, you make like almost a divine plus each time I spread trade in a couple hundreds of thousands of gold in a sense. So this is another example. Dextra annulment again was very valuable. I bought it in at around like 3.5, 3.6. Whenever I see it going up, I liquidate some of it, I take it back, I reallocate. And I believe right now that maybe Omen of Sinistro Erasure is the bit of the lacking one, because it's still very strong. It allows you to remove chaos modifiers, which is a very powerful thing when people are looking for mirror tier weapons. If the meta shifts, you will definitely need a lot of Sinistro Erasures. I personally use a lot of this in my crafting when I'm looking for mirror tier gear. So this is something that I'm also picking up right now. The biggest thing of all, I think that is a very massive advantage that a person with a little bit more resources has, is I can move any market that I want. So if right now, for example, I see that this queue it was at 2. You can see I bought it at 2.8. Now the queue is at 3.1. I can move this easily by buying this entire queue, moving that thing up by 1 divine, 2 divines, which is very, very drastic. Of course, I don't do it unnecessarily, but whenever I do, I let you guys know as well beforehand, so that you guys can stay tuned to the actions, because at the end of the day, it's all a community-based thing. When I need to sell, I sell in bulk, and because of that, I naturally move markets. It's not like an intentional factor, but that's just basically how I manage the funds. A lot of it is spread trading, a lot of it is moving markets, and because I have so much volume of stuff that I'm moving at one period of time, it's only going to keep growing more and more. Every time I make a move and liquidate something, it's like a hedge fund going in to buy something. Maybe not that exaggerated, such a degree of like billions of dollars, but it's still quite a sizable sum that not many people might move. And this is only possible because we have the collective effort of everyone in EOD Bank contributing. And as a fund manager, my job is to make sure that everyone's funds are safe and liquid enough so that you can continuously have the flexibility of earning money, getting your liquidity whenever you want, and me guaranteeing returns. At least you won't lose your money whenever you participate. And of course, if you're interested in more of these content, you like the way this works, we are a finance channel. I am a finance professional myself, so you will find a lot of unique content on this channel. Like, subscribe, and check out these 2 other videos on the channel too, which I think you might like. See you guys in the next one.